Hello, everyone. I have a pleasure of speaking with Nash today. Nash, if you can introduce yourself and the company you represent.
I met. My full name is a little bit difficult. You are one of the rare guys that can pronounce it correctly. My full name is Nebojša Zivkovic. It's like Serbia name, so most people call me Nash. I am owner of White City Logistics. We are asset-based trucking company from Illinois, and we service all 48 continental states, pick up and deliver product, dry vans, reefers, beds, pretty much any product that we can fit on our trailers. And I have been in trucking business almost 2 decades since 2006.
2006. Wow, that's quite a long time. So take us back to 2006. Other than the World Cup in Germany, what was led you to getting into the logistics transportation industry? Was that something from your background? Like what got you into the space?
Well, I started in trucking nearly 20 years ago, as I mentioned, 2006, first as a dispatch and then as a freight broker. This was something new and something interesting. So I started from the scratch. I started understanding uh, transportation and logistics a little bit better, and I try to learn as much as I can. First, this was completely different time than now, 2025. Technology was still developing. So I had recently one podcast where I was explaining certain things where I mentioned, I remember it was no smartphones. So drivers will stop at pretty much truck stop, the payphone, call the
Wow.
office, and they will not call the office or broker if there is no toll-free number. Now people forgot about toll-free numbers, so if there is no toll-free 800 numbers, they will not call because payphones were only free if you have toll-free, or from their cell phone they could call for free on toll-free. No one had like unlimited minutes. Navigation systems, GPS, and everything was not the same like now. Most the drivers use like Atlas, and a few years things started changing. So I enter trucking in this challenging time, and I start learning everything first as a dispatch, doing truck and trace dispatch and freight broker, and from there I moved out to training some dispatch team members. I even started with one company that was developing, and I helped them grow a little bit. And 2009, I started my corporation, and back in 2011, I finally got my MC and DOT number. And since then, officially, I can say White City Logistics trucking company is active as asset based. We worked first with smaller vehicles as sprinters and cargo vans, but now we are only focused on semi trucks and big trucks and trailers.
You took us way back, and those memories came when I first started in the space I back in Germany. As I mentioned before the recording, we had before the TomTom navigation. I don't know if you had that in
Yeah,
the
I
United
remember. Yeah,
States.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that was
TomTom.
in car. In trucks, usually they use the Ron McNally, I believe. But TomTom, I don't remember they used in trucks.
Yeah, but we had also navigation in the radio in the Sprinter. I think it was the Sprinter, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, and there's like just arrows and the name of the street in the radio, so you could set it up. It took you like 5 minutes to type in the address because you had to scroll and find the address, and if it didn't have the address, you had to go all the way back and find the city or something there. And we still had big
Yeah,
maps.
technology changed a lot. So everything changing, and what was 5 years ago, it's not same as today. What was 15 or 20 years ago, as I mentioned, is definitely different.
We'll get to the innovations in a second. 2009 to 2011, as you started growing your own company, what were the challenges in the beginning as you got into the industry? on your own, and you started with, I believe, vans or trucks, grew it to a
Yeah. So
bigger.
at the same time, I was helping and dispatching for other companies. I was like providing some consulting, dispatch support while I was building my company and exploring the markets. So first, I was trying to figure out if I will focus on smaller vehicles or not. As I mentioned, first I had smaller vehicles, expedite vans, sprinters, and cargo vans, and then I decided to only focus on semi trucks. So then I was trying to find the right solution, how I will organize my operation and what will provide good support for my customers. Basically, when I started in trucking, we didn't have after hour support or track and trace. I was doing everything first company, after that in second company where I worked, pretty much if you are dispatch or broker, uh, you need to answer 24/7 or every week someone else is taking this after hour phone at home. Over the weekend, it was too much and it was overwhelming. So my first uh, approach was to create solution. So I organized 24 dispatch. I created truck and chase team and trained them from the scratch. Most of the truck and chase and dispatch I trained and they never worked in trucking before. My main goal was that I trained them well and I tried to avoid uh, hiring and training someone with some experience if they were trained, let's say, wrong way. I don't want to mention any companies or any systems, but I liked always to train someone from the scratch as we are very proud to be professional, honest, and responsible company. We don't play any games, and we always provide honest answers to our customers, brokers, drivers. We will not make up the stories that trucks broke down if they didn't. We will not provide some excuses. There's no excuses in trucking. We will always provide the right and honest answer. So we when we talk with the drivers, we explain we can always see where each truck's supposed to be tomorrow, but a lot of things could happen during the night. This is why we need to get the update from them, and whatever happened, they need to be honest with us. We don't have time to play games. They need to tell us exactly what's going on. If they're running late, we need to know exactly what's going on. If truck broke down, weather conditions, road closures, or driver fall asleep. If he fall asleep, that's fine. That's fine. And we will tell our customer, we are sorry, our driver fall asleep. Maybe they will say, oh, come on, this is not acceptable. We will say, what can we do? This is honest answer. We can always make up better sounding story, but that will not be true. So it's better that the driver fall asleep and not got into any accident. So that's the point of everything. But if this keep repeating and driver fall asleep every week, then we will need to resolve this issue and find different driver. But if this happen, once in a while, okay, what can we do? If driver was tired, it's better that he's honest with us, communicate honestly. We will communicate with the broker or customer, try to see when we can deliver this product next available appointment or what's the working hours. And the most difficult thing was to convince drivers to be honest and to explain everyone in dispatch team that this is how we should work, as sometimes they are they think there is like easier way or like they can do something different way, especially now with this technology when everyone is good at dispatch or broker. They are all over the social media. They are like explaining how you should do the business without any experience pretty much in trucking, or they never lived in US. And Chicago is trucking hub. So this is middle of the US and huge trucking hub where you can grow as a company, as a dispatch. So I tried to implement the system. First few years, that was the most difficult.
Sounds like you built your company from ground up based on trust and honesty and transparency, how important is communication to you? And by communication, it applies both to operations team like you and your team and anyone involved in the company, and also communication between your company and your customers, clients, brokers.
Communication is the key. So we need to communicate between each other. We need to communicate with the drivers. We need to communicate with our customers and brokers. Without communication, trucking will not exist. So if you want to be good in trucking, dispatch or broker or company owner, you need to communicate. It's very, very important. And sometimes I'm repeating maybe too much to my team that we need to communicate. We cannot hide things under the carpet. If there is any issue, we need to resolve it and address it as soon as possible. So if we notice any issues, I'm trying to address this as soon as possible and be direct. So sometimes people takes it personally. So I'm trying to address certain things as soon as I can, and so we can move on. So we can learn from mistakes and not to have 5 people or 10 people and 15 people in dispatch to make the same mistake if we didn't address this first time. So if we have any issues, we address this immediately and we mention, okay, this is what happened. This is how we should deal next time. No hard feelings. Everyone makes mistakes, but we need to try not to repeat these mistakes again. So we need to communicate, and I think communication is a key.
It reminds me of the lean thinking way that Toyota implemented. Not sure if you ever studied the company or read some history on it. There is actually they hired an American specialist to optimize a lot of their aspects, and he wrote several books on that topic where everyone in the company, from top executives to someone who worked on the cars, had the ability to stop the entire production at any given moment. Why? Because they believe that if anyone notices a small mistake during the production, this will escalate. And if we, like you said, hide it under the carpet and we don't approach it and address it immediately, this will escalate and will kick us back, months later, a year later. And to avoid those escalation, they implemented that approach that there was something that would stop the production to make sure that no problems like this, small or big, escalate down the road. So I feel like that's a smart approach, and most companies build a habit of hiding things because once or twice it happened, but then it becomes a habit. If you continue to constantly find excuses instead of approaching it and addressing it, then it will definitely escalate. Now, as far as like for communications, since we are on this topic, what do you implement or what have you implemented during your tenure at the company to optimize communication? Are there any innovations that you are excited about to implement, or you have implemented already?
Well, we communicate with, we have certain, I will not mention now the names or something, but we have a certain chat system that we use for communication, as some of the team members are not in the same office and we have some people working remotely, and we sometimes have people working from different regions or different continents. So we use chat groups and this chat system with the topics where we can create a topic for any situation, any issue, and we are keeping track on loads, trucks, drivers, and we try to use this data so this can help us improve in future. So these are like some basic communication improvements, but we use technology all the time and we are trying to improve certain things. This is not just like communication, but we are trying to always find ways to improve certain things. We are always open for new ideas. I always communicate with different companies, and every week I have multiple meetings, Zoom or similar meetings with companies that offer different solutions. I'm always open into listening their ideas. I always create enough room in my schedule that I can talk with random companies. So I keep on the top of the new solutions, innovations, and we are trying to use different things to improve our business.
What about artificial intelligence? Any implementations of AI so far, or something that you are thinking about?
Yes, actually, we are thinking that this will change trucking a lot. Brokers first start implementing this solution recently, and trucking company are a little bit more, let's say, not trusting this technology. Usually brokers always first start with new technology and then trucking companies. So I know that this will change trucking a lot, and we actually start working on one project. So I will have more information soon in a few weeks, but we are trying to build some tools first for us, of course, and then if this is something that will be good for other companies, then we will share. And at the same time, we started building our software TMS, transportation management solution. Now it's like a long time ago, like let's say like 2 years ago. We are working on solution to improve our efficiency, as those softwares that I used in past 20 years were not good enough for us, and I always needed to use Google Sheets, Google Drive, and my dispatch team is always opening multiple screens. So that's why we start working with to build our TMS, and it's almost done. And this last 2 years, technology changed a lot, and some regulation changed the last few years, like ELD mandate and everything else. But recently, I started thinking about AI, and we are in process of developing certain tools. And I have idea maybe to offer some of our solutions to other trucking companies. I even got a domain where we will keep all these new solutions, but it's like in progress. There's nothing there. It's called Trucking and Beyond. So this is a new domain that I will use for all those solutions, and we will see. We will have like updates soon, and if this tool is something good for our business, then we will share it with other trucking companies too. As I mentioned, I use my experience, and this is not a developer trying to make something to make money, but this is someone who is in trucking, in dispatch, someone who's trying to find solution for everyday operation. So we are building something for ourselves, and we think technology will change trucking a lot.
Definitely, yes. And I will keep an eye on the news regarding the new projects that you're working on. From previous conversations and guests, I heard that we not entered, but we are in one of the biggest, if not the biggest, recession in 2025. What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, I'm repeating myself last 3 years that we are in trucking recession, but everyone is like, no, everything is fine, everything is fine. I believe when we come out of this recession, then all this, like financial advisors and this specialists for economy will say, oh, like last 3 4 years we had like trucking recession and certain like issues, but now last 3 years everyone is saying everything is fine, yeah, there is no issues. I think this is the worst trucking recession in last probably 50 years. I don't have all the data, but in last 20 years this is the worst. Even when people complain in 2009, 10, or like some other years where we had like this big real estate bubble, and nothing can compare with last 3 years. In last 3 years, thousands of trucking companies got shut down. A lot of companies filed bankruptcy. Companies went out of business for different reasons, downsize. Even companies 99 year in business as yellow, they filed bankruptcy, and companies with hundreds or thousands of trucks, they left trucking, and we are still bleeding. We are still losing money. Brokers are still making some money, and we have all liability. And there is not just one thing that we need to fix, multiple things that we need to fix, multiple challenges and problems that we have, and we need to fix all of them at the same time. So we are hoping that the economy will start picking up, and the trucking will finally get back to the track, as currently everything is difficult for over the road trucking, maintenance increased, and all those issues, and the loads and the freight that we are hauling are paid really cheap. Spot market or like contract lanes are pretty bad. There is a lot of websites where they predict certain things. Most of the time, they don't predict anything. There's no solution. They're just, like pulling some numbers and talking around certain things, and at the end, they don't say anything. So how to fix certain things, and then a lot of small trucking companies or owner operators, they're asking like, what should we do? Like, or some companies with few hundred trucks, they're asking, hey Nash, what do you think? What should we do? You're asking me. We have like few hundred trucks, and nobody can tell us what to do currently. If someone is telling you, oh, this will happen in 1 week or 2 weeks, they don't know what they're saying, as no one can predict the future. We can have small hints what to do, but if someone is like, there's a lot of consulting companies that will like help you, but pretty much they are taking the money at the end of the month, and then we are going in circles. So it's very bad. I hope things will change soon, and I hope companies and drivers, owner operators will survive this recession, as this is longest recession in trucking in the last 20 years that I can remember. So it's already 3 years that trucking companies are bleeding, and if this doesn't change soon, a lot more companies will shut down, and people from trucking will start working something else. So I know there is a lot of innovation, a lot of technology, a lot of brokers, a lot of software companies, everything. Everybody is trying to get around the trucking because this is the biggest uh, industry that keep U.S. moving, and this is like very this huge part of economy. But if drivers stop driving, and if trucking companies shut down, who cares about freight brokers and the technology if there is no one to do the job that should be moving freight from point A to point B? So I think no one is thinking about this. They're all trying to find some other solutions, but they're not thinking about drivers and about companies. And we, as a trucking companies, we have a lot of liability on our shoulders, and we are pretty much, like last in this line of like when where we need to share like profit of the load. Pretty much everyone is taking some money before us, and then at the end we are losing. So we need to uh, pay drivers, we need to pay for truck maintenance, we need to pay for equipment, insurance, fuel, and at the end we are bleeding. We are not making any money.
Yeah. Well, I heard also from some manufacturers that hopefully the next 6 to 12 months will bring some more optimism into the, let's say, optimism, if we can say it that way, into the economy. So, like you said, you are the transportation industry, the industry is literally driving our economy in the United States and worldwide. So I hope that the situation will change for sure. What's let's wrap up slowly, and I have a question for you that might require some thinking. If you could go back 10 years or 15 years back when you were starting the company, what would you tell your younger self as an advice to back then?
Leave trucking, do something else. Leave logistics and do something else, as this is 24 hours problem solving. So I would probably have like easier life if I didn't enter trucking. But no, really, it's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders as a company owners, and even dispatch or brokers are under a lot of pressure, and of course drivers, and we need to multitask and try to resolve different issues. So not sure what I could say that can change certain things, but there is no advice that I could give to myself 10 years ago. We did everything by the book. We did everything um, we can to build a healthy trucking company and to be honest and reliable. Only advice I could give will be to keep going. never give up, and always try to be honest and reliable, and results will come.
With your work ethic and the approach to business, I have no doubt you would crush it in any other industry out there. So now, lastly, for 2025, what's next for you, for the company, White City Logistics?
To grow a lot, we are not, we are, like steady with our drivers and the truck count. We are just currently trying to find the best solutions for us and to use our experience to do job best we can. As we already mentioned, technology is changing, so we are thinking about different options. And I already mentioned we are finishing our TMS that will help us with better communication inside of the company, that we will maybe provide better service faster, and we will see how this technology change. At the same time, I decided, like, finally I made multiple training manuals for my team, and last one that I've, let's say, made internally was 2015, 10 years ago. And I just noticed like a few months ago that the last one that I made was in 2015 for training of the dispatch from the scratch. And I know that I help even some dispatch from other companies to train them, and they use my manual, and some people ask me to send it over and everything else. So this year I'm planning soon to like finally create like ebook and publish this and share with everyone in trucking, everyone who would like to become a dispatch. So my plan is to publish this manual, but a little bit updated version, because in 10 years a lot of things changed, and at the same time we are working on AI and building new tools that will help us. So these three things, beside of the running company and trying to survive in a recession, will drive me and give me more things to like think about and to push myself. So technology, AI, and new TMS is something that makes me happy, and I think this will help us to build even stronger company, so we have stable grounds and develop more for next 5 or 10 years.
And on that positive and happy note, let's finish the recording. Thank you so much, Nebojsa. It was a pleasure to speaking with you, having this conversation, learning from your mindset and approach to business. I believe a lot of companies and leaders and executives could approach it the same way, and definitely become leaders in any industry out there. Please stay on for another minute. And yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for having me.